Sometimes the greatest pain you'll ever feel won't come from strangers on the street. It'll come from the people you share your last name with. It'll come from the ones you grew up trusting, the ones you loved with everything in you. Family betrayal cuts deeper than any knife, but here's the truth. God doesn't make mistakes. If you were placed in a toxic, broken, or betrayal-filled family, there's a divine reason behind it. You might not see it now, but one day you'll understand that God wasn't punishing you, He was preparing you. The rejection, the jealousy, the backstabbing, it was all shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and ready to carry out a purpose that goes far beyond your pain. Betrayal was the fuel for your greatness sometimes. The very thing that feels like it's breaking you is actually the thing that's building you. When family betrays you, it feels like your whole world is falling apart. You sit there wondering, why me? Why would the people I love hurt me like this? But what you don't realize is that betrayal has a way of lighting a fire inside you that nothing else can. It pushes you to rise higher than you ever thought possible. Betrayal has a unique kind of pain. It doesn't just hurt your heart, it shakes your soul. It makes you question everything you're worth, your decisions, even your future. But in that deep pain, something powerful happens. You begin to discover strength you didn't even know was there. You start to realize that your greatness was never meant to be built on their approval in the first place. God allowed that betrayal because He knew you wouldn't move if you were comfortable. Sometimes we stay too loyal to people who are secretly rooting against us. And as long as they can keep you dependent on their love and validation, you'll never grow into the person God created you to be. When they turned on you, they unknowingly became the very thing that elevated you. Their betrayal was a tool in God's hands. It was the very fuel He used to launch you into your next level. They thought they were tearing you down, but all they really did was push you closer to your destiny. Think about this. If they had supported you, you might have settled. You might have stayed small just to keep their love. But when they showed you who they truly were, you had no choice but to rise up and prove to yourself and to them that you are so much more than what they believed. Betrayal gives you focus. It gives you a reason to fight harder. It forces you to stop looking for love in broken places and start pouring that love into yourself. You begin to set boundaries. You begin to dream bigger. You begin to realize that their rejection doesn't define you. Every great person has a story of betrayal. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, but that betrayal positioned him to save an entire nation. Just like him, your betrayal is a setup for something greater. The same people who broke you will one day have to watch you shine in ways they never imagined. Betrayal is painful, yes, but it's also purposeful. Without that betrayal, you wouldn't have the fire that's driving you right now. You wouldn't have the hunger to chase your dreams. You wouldn't have the strength to stand alone when everyone else walks away. So don't let their actions make you bitter. Let it make you better. Let it push you to heights you never thought you could reach. Their betrayal is temporary, but your greatness will be permanent. Remember this. The very thing they did to hurt you is the very thing God is going to use to bless you. They thought they buried you, but really, they were planting you. And now, it's your time to grow. Betrayal may feel like an ending, but it's really a beginning. It's the start of a new chapter, one where you step into the fullness of who you are. One day, you'll look back and realize that what felt like destruction was actually construction. God was building the foundation for your greatness. You don't need their approval to succeed. You don't need their love to thrive. All you need is the strength that came from surviving what they did to you. So thank them not with your words, but with your success. Let your life be the proof that their betrayal didn't break you. It built you. God needed you to break the generational curse. Some families carry cycles of pain, dysfunction, and betrayal that go back generations. Maybe it's poverty, maybe it's abuse, maybe it's jealousy, whatever it is. It's been passed down like an unwanted inheritance, and for too long, nobody had the courage to stop it. That's where you come in. God placed you in that family because He knew you were strong enough to break what others couldn't. He saw something in you that He didn't see in anyone else. You were chosen to be the one who says, "It ends with me." It's not easy being the curse breaker. It means you're going to face resistance. The people in your family might not understand you. They might call you crazy for dreaming bigger than they ever did. They might resent you for refusing to settle for the dysfunction they've accepted. But here's the truth. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to rise up and create a new path, even if that means walking it alone at first. The very family that betrayed you might be the same family that needs your healing. They may never say it, but your growth threatens the chains they're still trapped in. When they see you breaking free, it reminds them of their own bondage, and not everyone will celebrate that. That's why they fight you. That's why they talk about you. That's why they betray you. It's not just personal, it's spiritual. The enemy doesn't want you to rise because if you rise, you break the cycle. And when you break the cycle, generations after you will live free. Think about it. Maybe you're the first in your family to chase your dreams, to build wealth, to walk in faith, to have healthy boundaries. That's not a coincidence. That's divine assignment. God knew it would take someone with incredible strength and resilience to face the battles your family has been running from for years. You are that someone, and though it feels heavy now, one day you'll see the beauty in the burden you carry. Every time you refuse to give up, you're breaking a link in that chain. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, you're breaking a link. Every time you set a new standard, you're breaking a link. The betrayal you experienced wasn't just about you. It was about the generations that come after you. Your future children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will live in freedom because you had the courage to fight. So don't despise the pain. Don't curse the process. Instead, see yourself as the warrior God chose to change the story of your family forever. You may not have asked for this battle, but you were built for it. And as you heal, you'll become the blueprint for others to follow. Your breakthrough will become their hope. One day, those same family members who doubted you will look at you and realize you weren't just fighting for yourself, you were fighting for them too. Your pain built unshakable strength. Pain changes people. It has a way of stripping you down to your core, forcing you to confront parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. When your own family betrays you, it's not just pain, it's a storm. It shakes everything you thought was stable. It makes you feel like you're drowning in hurt and confusion. But when the storm passes, you realize something powerful. You survived, and that survival gave you strength nothing else could. The strength you carry now didn't come from easy days or happy memories. It was forged in the fire of disappointment. Every tear you cried, every night you spent questioning your worth, every moment you felt abandoned, those were the moments that built your unshakable spirit. Some people think strength comes from lifting heavy weights or putting on a brave face. But real strength comes from walking through the kind of pain that would have destroyed someone else and coming out wiser, not bitter. Your family's betrayal was painful, but it trained you for battles you don't even know are ahead yet. Pain is a teacher like no other. It teaches you who you are, who you can trust, and what truly matters. Without the pain, you might still be naive. You might still be giving your heart to people who don't deserve it. You might still be seeking validation in places that only lead to heartbreak. Every painful experience taught you a lesson that now serves as a shield. You know how to spot red flags. You know how to stand on your own. You know how to walk away from toxic people without losing your peace. That wisdom is priceless, and it came at the cost of your tears. God didn't let you go through that pain because he wanted to see you suffer. He let you go through it because he knew what kind of strength you would need for the calling on your life. Some assignments require a warrior's heart. And you wouldn't have that heart without the battles you've faced. The pain also gave you empathy. When you've been hurt deeply, you learn to recognize hurt in others. You learn how to comfort people in ways others can't. Your wounds make you a healer because you know what it's like to bleed. There will come a day when you'll meet someone who's walking through the same betrayal you survived. And because of your strength, you'll be able to guide them. You'll be living proof that healing is possible, that beauty can grow from ashes. Pain has a way of humbling you too. It strips away pride and ego. It reminds you that you're human, that you need grace, and that you need God. In your weakest moments, you discovered the true source of your strength, not your family, not your friends, but the one who never left you. Some people let pain destroy them. They turn cold and bitter. But you chose a different path. You chose to let it refine you instead of define you. That choice is what separates the broken from the unbreakable. One day, you'll look back and realize that the pain didn't just build strength, it revealed it. You were strong all along. The betrayal just uncovered it. That unshakable strength will be the foundation for everything you build in the future. It will carry you through storms that would have crushed the old version of you. It will give you the courage to chase dreams that once felt impossible. So don't resent your pain. Respect it. It's the reason you're standing tall today. It's the proof that no matter what they did to you, they couldn't take away what God placed inside you. Jealousy is proof of your calling. Jealousy is a strange thing. It often shows up disguised as criticism, gossip, or betrayal. When family members are jealous, they won't always admit it. Instead, they'll belittle your dreams, dismiss your accomplishments, or talk about you behind your back. It's painful, but here's the truth. Their jealousy is proof that you're carrying something special. People don't get jealous of nothing. They only envy what they see as valuable. If your presence didn't threaten their comfort, they wouldn't feel the need to tear you down. The very fact that they're trying to dim your light means your light is shining too brightly for them to ignore. Sometimes family members see your potential long before you do. They recognize the greatness in you, and it reminds them of their own unfulfilled potential. Instead of celebrating you, they attack you because your success exposes their stagnation. That jealousy isn't really about you. It's about what you represent. You represent change. You represent possibility. You represent a future they either don't believe in or are too afraid to chase for themselves. When they betray you, understand this. It's not just personal, it's spiritual. The enemy uses jealousy to divide families, to create rifts that keep you isolated and discouraged. But what the enemy means for harm, God uses for good. Their jealousy is actually a compliment. It means you're walking in your calling even if you can't see it yet. The higher you rise, the more resistance you'll face. And most of that resistance will come from people who are supposed to love you the most. Think about it. Joseph's own brothers were jealous of his dreams. They didn't just mock him, they plotted to destroy him. But their jealousy didn't stop his destiny. It fueled it. What they meant for evil, God turned into the very thing that saved them. Your story is no different. Their jealousy may hurt, but it can't cancel God's plan for your life. If anything, it confirms that you're on the right path. People don't try to block something that isn't going anywhere. So instead of letting their envy break you, let it motivate you. Let it remind you that you're carrying something worth protecting. You don't need to defend yourself or prove anything to them. Just keep growing, keep shining, keep walking in purpose. One day, those same family members who mocked you will see the fruit of your faith. They'll realize that their jealousy was a waste of energy because they couldn't stop what God ordained. Jealousy can also serve as a warning sign. It shows you who's really in your corner and who's just pretending. When you pay attention, you'll start to see their true colors, and that knowledge will protect you from future heartbreak. Their jealousy is not your responsibility. You don't need to shrink yourself to make them comfortable. You don't need to hide your blessings to avoid their envy. Your only job is to keep being obedient to what God called you to do. Remember this: if people are jealous of you, it means you're doing something right. It means you're standing out in a world that's too afraid to be different. It means you're walking in favor, even if they don't understand it. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them betray. Their jealousy can't stop what's coming. It only proves that something incredible is on its way. Rejection redirected you toward your destiny. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences a person can face, especially when it comes from family. When the people you love most make you feel unwanted or unworthy, it cuts deep. But here's the thing about rejection: it's often redirection in disguise. God sees things you can't see. He knows conversations you weren't part of, and motives you'll never fully understand. When someone rejects you, it's not because you're lacking, it's because God is protecting you from places you don't belong. Your family's betrayal and rejection may feel like abandonment, but it's really a blessing. It's God's way of closing doors that would have led to destruction. Sometimes we're so desperate for acceptance that we'll settle for dysfunction. God loves you too much to let you stay there. When they pushed you away, they unknowingly pushed you toward your purpose. If they had embraced you, you might have gotten comfortable in an environment that couldn't sustain your growth. But their rejection forced you to step out on faith and discover who you really are. Think about all the opportunities you've had since they turned their back on you. Would you have chased those dreams if they were still holding your hand? Probably not. You would have stayed small to keep their love. Rejection has a way of waking you up. It forces you to stop seeking validation from people and start finding it within yourself and your relationship with God. It teaches you that your worth isn't determined by who stays or who leaves. Even Jesus faced rejection from his own people. They didn't recognize who he was, and they turned on him. If the Son of God himself was rejected, why would you expect your path to be any different? Their rejection doesn't define you, it refines you. It strips away the parts of you that were built on people pleasing and replaces them with unshakable confidence. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to like you. The right people will be drawn to you at the right time, and they won't need convincing. Rejection is also preparation. It toughens your skin for the battles ahead. When you've faced betrayal from the people closest to you, you can handle criticism from strangers without breaking. One day, you'll look back and realize that their rejection was the best thing that ever happened to you. It freed you to become who you were always meant to be. So stop chasing people who clearly don't value you. Stop begging for seats at tables where you were never meant to sit. Trust that God is leading you somewhere better, somewhere where you'll be celebrated, not tolerated. Their rejection isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you finally walk boldly in your destiny. God is teaching you to rely on him, not them. When the people you love and trust betray you, it feels like the ground has been ripped out from beneath you. You start questioning everything you're worth, your choices, and even your future. You wonder why God would allow you to go through something so painful. But what you don't see in that moment is that God is shifting your dependence. He's teaching you to rely on him and not on the people you thought would always be there for you. Sometimes we put family members in positions they were never meant to hold. We expect them to be our providers, our protectors, and our saviors. And while love and support are beautiful, They can never replace the role that only God was meant to play in our lives. When you've been betrayed, it forces you to confront the truth. People are flawed. Even the ones you thought would never hurt you are capable of failing you. And while that realization is painful, it's also freeing. Because once you stop expecting perfection from people, you start leaning fully on the only one who never changes. God will sometimes allow a season of isolation to bring you closer to Him. He'll remove certain voices from your life so you can finally hear His voice clearly. When your family turned on you, it wasn't just loss, it was a divine redirection. It was God saying, I want you to hear me, not them. There's a level of faith and trust that only develops in the wilderness. When you have no one else to lean on, you learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. You learn that even when everyone else walks away, God's presence remains constant. Your betrayal became the very tool God used to deepen your relationship with Him. Those lonely nights you cried yourself to sleep. He was right there, collecting every tear. Those moments you felt abandoned, He was holding you closer than ever, even when you couldn't feel it. Sometimes the people you thought you needed were actually blocking you from seeing how powerful God truly is. As long as you were leaning on them, you couldn't fully lean on Him. So He had to step in and remove them, not to hurt you, but to protect you. This season is about surrender. It's about saying, God, I don't understand why this happened, but I trust you. I trust that you see what I can't see, and you're working all things for my good. When you rely on people, your peace depends on their actions. But when you rely on God, your peace becomes unshakable. No matter who betrays you or what storms come your way, you remain anchored because your hope is built on something eternal. This doesn't mean you'll never have healthy relationships again. It just means you'll approach them differently. Instead of placing your identity in people, you'll love them freely without needing them to complete you. The more you rely on God, the more you'll realize you don't need their approval to move forward. You don't need their validation to be valuable. You are already enough because He says you are. God is using this painful season to reveal His character to you. You'll come out of this storm knowing Him as your healer, your provider, your comforter, and your defender. And one day, when you stand in victory, you'll look back and say, if they hadn't betrayed me, I wouldn't have learned to trust God like this. Their betrayal may have shaken you, but it also positioned you to experience God's faithfulness in ways you never imagined. Your family's betrayal will become your testimony right now. The pain feels overwhelming. It's hard to imagine anything good coming from what you've been through. But here's the truth. Your greatest heartbreak will one day become your greatest testimony. The very family that betrayed you will be the reason someone else finds hope. Your story will show others that it's possible to survive betrayal and come out stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't just go through the fire, you came out of it. And when people see your scars, they'll see the power of healing. They'll see that brokenness isn't the end. God never wastes pain. If He allowed you to walk through betrayal, it's because He intends to use it for something greater. Your story will encourage others who are in the middle of their own storm. You'll become living proof that no betrayal is too deep for God to redeem. Think about how powerful your testimony will be. When you tell people, my own family turned against me, but I still rose above it. You'll inspire them to believe they can rise too. Your journey will become a roadmap for others to follow. Even now, your healing is not just for you. It's for the people who will one day cross your path, desperate for the hope you now carry. They'll look at your life and say, if they can overcome it, so can I. The betrayal you faced may feel senseless, but one day it will all make sense. You'll realize that God was crafting a story that's bigger than you. He was turning your pain into purpose. Your testimony will also silence your enemies. The very people who doubted you, who mocked you, who thought you'd never recover, they'll have no choice but to acknowledge the transformation God did in your life. When you speak about your past, you won't speak from bitterness. You'll speak from victory. You'll no longer cry about what happened because you'll see how it all worked together for your good. And here's the most powerful part. Your testimony will break chains for others. As you share your story, you'll inspire people to confront their own pain and believe in their own healing. Betrayal doesn't have to be the end of your family's story. You might be the one who brings restoration. You might be the one who shows them that love and forgiveness are stronger than hate and jealousy. God is writing a redemption story through you. Every tear you've cried, every wound you've endured, every sleepless night you've faced, none of it is wasted. Your testimony will be a weapon. It will be the very thing that defeats the enemy's plan to keep you silent and stuck. So keep going, keep healing. One day you'll stand before others and boldly declare, "What was meant to destroy me became the very thing that elevated me." You are called to build the family you never had sometimes. The hardest thing to accept is that the family you were born into may never become the family you've always wanted. They may never apologize. They may never change. They may never love you the way you deserve to be loved. But here's the beautiful part. God is calling you to build the family you never had. Just because you came from brokenness doesn't mean you have to stay broken. You have the power to create something new, something healthy, something filled with love and respect. Your betrayal gave you clarity. It showed you exactly what kind of family you don't want to create. It taught you the importance of boundaries, communication, and unconditional love. God is using your experience to prepare you to lead with wisdom. You'll be intentional about the relationships you build because you know the pain of being betrayed by those closest to you. This new family doesn't have to be blood related. It can be a circle of friends, mentors, and spiritual connections who truly love and support you. Family is not just about DNA, it's about loyalty, trust, and shared values. When you heal, you become the blueprint for others. You show them what healthy love looks like. You model forgiveness without enabling toxicity. You create a safe space where others can thrive. Building the family you never had is also about legacy. You're not just healing for yourself, you're healing for the generations that will come after you. Your future children and grandchildren will never have to experience the pain you endured because you chose to break the cycle. You get to decide what your last name represents moving forward. It doesn't have to be associated with betrayal and dysfunction. It can stand for love, strength, and resilience. As you build this new family, remember to keep God at the center. People will still fail you, but He never will. When He's the foundation, your relationships will have lasting strength. This calling may feel overwhelming at times. You might wonder if you're strong enough to create something so different from what you've known. But the very fact that you're here, healing and growing, proves that you are capable. The family you create will become a testimony in itself. Others will see the contrast between where you came from and where you are now, and they'll be inspired to believe that transformation is possible. Your betrayal wasn't just about your past, it was about your future. It was God's way of giving you the wisdom and compassion needed to lead others into a healthier, brighter future. So don't dwell on what you lost. Focus on what you're building. Your future family, whether by blood or by choice, will be the evidence that beauty can rise from ashes. And when you look around one day at the people who truly love and support you, you'll realize that the betrayal you experienced was the catalyst for the most beautiful blessing of all, a family you created with love, intention, and grace. God put you in a betrayal family for a divine reason. When we talk about family, we imagine love, safety, and loyalty. But for many of us, family became the very source of our deepest wounds. The betrayal you experienced wasn't fair, and it wasn't right. It hurt in ways you can't even put into words. But today, I want you to hear this truth. God saw it all, and none of it was wasted. He didn't place you in that family to destroy you. He placed you there to develop you. He knew that the pain would shape you, the betrayal would teach you, and the rejection would push you into a destiny you never would have reached if you had stayed comfortable and accepted their dysfunction. Everything they did to break you was actually used to build you. Every tear, every heartbreak, every lonely night, it all became the foundation for the person you are becoming right now. You may not see it clearly yet, but your future self will thank you for not giving up. That betrayal was your awakening. It was God's way of showing you who's really for you and who's against you. It was His way of teaching you to depend on Him above everyone else. It was His way of preparing you to be the curse breaker, the cycle breaker, the one who rises higher than anyone ever thought possible. Your family's betrayal wasn't the end of your story, it was the beginning of a greater one. You were chosen to be different. You were chosen to carry light into the darkness. You were chosen to build a new legacy, one rooted in love, truth, and strength. There will come a day when you'll look back at the people who hurt you and realize they were your greatest teachers. Their betrayal showed you what true loyalty looks like. Their rejection taught you to stand on your own 2 feet. Their jealousy revealed the greatness inside you. And when that day comes, you won't even feel the need for revenge. You won't need them to apologize or make things right. Your success, your healing, and your joy will speak louder than any words ever could. This is your moment to rise, to take every broken piece of your story and hand it to God, trusting Him to create something beautiful out of the mess. To walk boldly into the future, knowing that you are stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. Your past doesn't define you. Your betrayal doesn't limit you. You are not a victim, you are a survivor, a warrior, and a chosen vessel for something far greater than you can imagine. So lift your head high, wipe those tears, and step into your purpose with unshakable faith, because the same God who allowed you to be placed in a family of betrayal is the same God who will elevate you in front of those who doubted you. Your pain was the seed, your healing is the growth, and your future is the harvest. Remember this. Their betrayal was the setup for your breakthrough. One day, the very people who tried to bury you will have to witness your blooming. This is not the end, this is just the beginning. God is writing a new chapter for your life, and this time it's filled with joy, peace, love, and purpose. Hold on, keep fighting, and trust that the author of your story has already guaranteed a victorious ending.